Well, hello to all of you beautiful people. I've definitely missed all of your faces, so I know you've probably missed mine, right? With all these beautiful crows. What do they call them? Crow's feet. Um, yeah, no, I'm totally joking. My face looks. I probably look exhausted. I probably look a little sickly. You can probably hear it in my voice too. So I do apologize. About 2 months ago, my wife and I gave birth to our fifth child. That's right, number five. And she was born prematurely, stayed in the hospital for a while. So she's been home for a few weeks now, but it's still been back and forth between here and the hospital. She's suffered some health struggles, and so that's left my wife and I in essentially sleeping in shifts, and then me on some days when I'm already exhausted, still having to get up and go into my job early in the morning. And so all of this has definitely taken a toll on us for sure. So I'm sorry if you hear all of that in my voice or you see it on my face. I assure you, I'm not sick. I'm not. There's nothing wrong. It's just life. And our baby girl is fine. She has great doctors. She's in the hospital again now, but she has a great team of doctors taking care of her. And hopefully, Mama and I will soon be able to start getting some semi-normal sleep. So again, please just excuse me for how I look in this video. I normally wouldn't pop up on here feeling like this, but it's not every day that we're having premature babies, so it's just life. But anyways, so yeah, I just wanted to make a video, touch base with you guys, let you know that no, I haven't left YouTube again, or anything crazy like that. So I actually wanted to let you guys know that so toward the end of last year, when I started to think about, okay, well, maybe I can relaunch my YouTube channel, right? One of the other thoughts that I had was, well, I would really like to also relaunch a website, complete with a web store where you can go get all of your oils, dusting powders, herbs, incense, candles, you name it, right? Not only that, but I also want to have a blog page on there. Not only that, I also want to offer readings through there. Not only that, I also want to have like course signups and things of that nature on there as well. Now, the ultimate goal here, though, is not to just have a website this time. The ultimate goal is to get this website up and running, and get it profitable so that we can sustain it as a business. And within a year or two time, I want to open a physical shop here on Galveston Island in Texas, where I live. And so in order to do that, so I guess let me backtrack. So the name of the business, or the name of the shop, is Bayou Root House. I've already purchased the domain for it. I've been working on the back end of the website, getting all of the design work done, setting up the shop, getting products added, things of this nature. Once that's complete, we launch. We're gonna run the site, like I said, for about a year or two in this way, where it's just online only. Unless you're local and you want to come pick something up from me or have an in-person reading, then hey, I'm always down for that. We'll just we'll wing it in terms of location, right? Right now, I'm still just working out of my house. So that's the ultimate goal, is to get into a physical storefront, right? And I don't want this shop to be just your run-of-the-mill new age metaphysical shop, right? So here in the area where I live, we have several new age metaphysical shops that, for the most part, they consist of things like crystals, sage wands, and lots of books, right? It's very kind of surface level. God, I even hate to use the term baby witchish, something like that. But then when you head like North Houston, you start to run into all of the botanicas. We have a fairly large Lakumi population here in Houston. I'm a member of an Elay here in Houston, have been for the last 11, almost 12 years now. An Awafaka in my Elay. So like I said, down south, we have a lot of the New Age stuff. Into Houston, we have all of the botanicas that cater to the Lukumi community, the Palo community, things like that. But we really don't have a middle ground for folk magic practitioners. We don't have a middle ground for people to go get their conjure, root work, and hoodoo supplies. That just doesn't really exist here. At one point in time, it did. Houston had one of the most renowned, actually, old school hoodoo drugstores, right? It was on Lyons Avenue in Fifth Ward, Houston, and it was called Stanley Drug Company. They closed down a couple of years ago, but that was pretty much it, when it came to that sort of thing. So we're really missing a shop in the area that caters to actual work, not going and picking up a book and not strictly religious stuff, right? But the things the common person can pick up and start doing on their own, right? So most of these new age shops, they don't carry, some of them might carry some herbs, but it's usually not a huge selection, right? I think the hugest selection of herbs in terms of a shop in Houston might actually be, and I'll probably say this wrong, and I'm sorry if you're watching this video because I know that you and I we used to talk back in the day, but Absolem's House of Voodoo, I believe, is what it's called, and that's in Houston. And I believe that they carry a larger range of herbs than most of the New Age shops, and they definitely carry herbs, roots, and things like that you would probably see more in root work than you would in something like Lukumi or Ifa. So yeah, there's a gap that needs to be filled, right? Because even the voodoo shop in Houston, I mean, it's their shop is dedicated to Marie Laveau, right? So their whole thing is voodoo specifically. As far as I know, I haven't visited myself. I've seen pictures. I know people who have gone. I once knew the owner of the shop. He had a folk magic radio show here in Houston that I had made an appearance on. So anyways, sorry to derail. So that's what I want to do. I want to open this website. I want to get it moving, and then I want to translate that into an actual physical shop. Now, when the physical shop happens, I don't want this place to be just a store, right? I have a full-time job. Launching this business is something that I want to do because I enjoy what I practice, right? I enjoy helping the community. I enjoy interacting with people, which, I could probably get a little bit more of, right? But anyways, so my motivation behind this, is community specifically. Yes, we have to make money. If we don't, the business will fail, and we won't have to worry about community because we won't have a physical centralized location for community to gather, right? Which is what we're kind of trying to resolve, or what I'm trying to resolve now. It's going to take a little bit of time. I already know this. It's not going to happen right away. But like I said, I don't want it to be just a shop. The products are one thing. We can turn out oils and powders and stock herbs and all of that kind of good stuff. But the meat of this shop, I actually want it to be things like signing up for classes and various courses, either hosted by our shop or hosted by other groups who may practice some other sort of folk tradition, or whatever it is that they want to teach. Granted, there'll be some guidelines on what would probably be best suited for our shop, but ultimately I want to open that up to the community. I want to give back in that way, right? And not just paid courses either. Like, if there are any groups in Houston or Galveston who, like oh, I don't know, espiritistas who want to hold misas, where, these things are not, there's no money involved in these things. I would be totally open to that idea and just letting them have a space to come and hold a misa every so often. Invite people to show up. I wouldn't ask them to pay me anything for using the space. I would make sure all of that was taken care of for them. And then another thing that, I have all these different ideas that I want to enact. So the courses, the products, but I also would like to eventually maybe even have a group that gathers at the house that is their base of operations, where we once a month all meet up at the house and go out to some of the, Galveston has many very beautiful cemeteries. They're just, most of them are not kept up with very well or at all. So maybe once a month, twice a month, we all meet up at the house and we go out and clean off headstones in these cemeteries, leave flowers for the dead, say prayers, cleanse, all of these things, right? So I have a lot of different ideas that I wanna do with this, and I tend to get ahead of myself from time to time, admittedly. So I need to kind of slow down and focus on one thing at a time. But I just kind of wanted to throw all these things out there, let you guys know I'm totally not joking. I will, no matter what, have a physical shop on Galveston Island sometime. I hope it happens within the next year or two, but we shall see. But either way, I just wanted to let you guys know that these are the things that I'm working on. These are the thoughts that I have. This is ultimately what I would like to do, for my local community, for myself. It's where I see myself in terms of even a career. Right now I work a corporate job. There's tons of red tape. I love it. I love the people that are there, but at the same time, I also know that that's my career. It's not necessarily my calling, right? And so I think that there's a difference. And so while I would definitely keep both of them, I'm sure, this is the opening of the shop. I'm passionate about, I'm adamant about, and I will approach it as fervently as possible to make it happen. So what I need from you guys. So the name of the business, like I said, is called Bayou Root House. I've already purchased the domain for it. I'll leave the link to that in the description below. There's really nothing on there that you can see yet, right? It's under maintenance mode, but on the back end, I have been working on it. And I can share screenshots and all of that stuff with you guys. As a matter of fact, we even have a Facebook page up called Bayou Root House. I'll leave the link to that also in this description. You guys can follow along on that page. We'll post updates there as well as on Instagram and here on YouTube, showing off the different design elements that I'm running with for various things and different products that I'm uploading into the shop as I go along. That way you guys can kind of follow along with what we're doing here. So the business is Bayou Root House. Website is up. Social media is up. It will take a while to flesh everything out. So in the meantime, if any of you have friends or family that are in Texas that would like to see this sort of shop go up on Galveston Island or the surrounding greater Houston area, send them my way. Have them check out this YouTube channel. Have them like and follow along with all of our social media accounts. Have them email me. I want to start connecting with people before we open a physical shop. I want to build a community, right? I don't want to build a structure and then just, well, I hope someone comes in today. No. I want to build a community first, which is also partly why I want to keep the shop online for the first year or two so that we can build that, right? So that way we have an entire community that already has its spiritual home, right? And then as soon as the physical shop launches, well, there we go. We have an entire group of people who are helping with courses, or maybe running their own courses at the shop. Um, People who are already coming in and supporting the shop by purchasing products, by getting readings with either myself or one of the other readers that we definitely will have there. And that's another thing. I'm going to bring in guest readers fairly consistently. I want them to have a room or two in the shop where, maybe I have one reader who comes in twice a week, another one who comes in one day a week, another one who comes in and fills out the rest of the week, so on and so forth, right? Um, because I don't think there's enough of that necessarily. Like, you can find tons of psychic shops, right? You can find tons of people to read tarot cards, but I want those people who are throwing them bones. I want the people who are I don't know, reading Lenormand and playing cards and giving tea leaf readings, and that's kind of where we're going with this. Um, so, anyways, I'm sorry. I have a bad habit of getting off on these little passionate tidbits that I just want to talk about, and then kind of forget about what I was talking about originally. But yeah. So, anyways, if you or anyone else wants something like this to happen, please support me in this. I'm not asking for any donations. I'm not asking for handouts. If you want to do that, that's fine. But I this is not that sort of video. I don't care about any of that. What I need people to follow along with the process um, that I'm doing it as I'm getting closer to building out this actual shop, right? So that's how you all best can help me. It's not money. It is simply being there, connecting, helping to build up a community in this area. So, and even if you're not in Texas, or maybe you are in Texas but you're nowhere near Galveston, it doesn't matter. Just uh, you know, reach out, say hello. And if you ever find yourself in the area, once we've got that shop open, come in and let's sit down and have a cup of coffee, right? And talk about traditions from wherever you are from, right? Maybe we'll have a spot for you to come and teach a course on the powwow tradition or something, So, but yeah, so I just wanted to update you guys, and ask for your support in this. And I thank you in advance for everything. I thank you for everything you've already done for me. And please just keep following along. We're going to be doing some really stellar things here pretty soon. So thank you again, and I'll talk to you guys soon.